What is up, YouTube, Internet, whoever decides to watch this video? This is Adam Nelson again. This is going to be American History X Part 2. I'm going to go over 3 facts that you have been lied to about history-wise growing up, learning in your school system. If you were born between the year 1940 and now, everything you're learning about history, and government, and economics is a lie. I'm going to go ahead and the last video I gave, I talked about the last topic of the last video. I was talking about the Battle of Waterloo and the myths behind that. Went ahead and gave you the truth on it. I'm going to give you the truth on a drug that is very addicting, and I'm not doing this to piss people off. I'm doing this actually because it's related in a way to the way American people buy things, they do things, our reactions, everything. Okay, it's controlled by this. You might think weed or alcohol or, you know, pills are the most addicting drugs. This is not the case. It is actually proven without error. There's no margin of error for this. This tests that were made. That the most abused drug is caffeine. Okay, caffeine is not just found in coffee. It's found in soda, tea, chocolate, candy, a bunch of medicines. According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, caffeine is an addictive drug that creates physical dependence and causes an increase in the heart rate and body temperature. Urine production is altered and gastric juice secretion is created, or the need to secrete. Caffeine also raises blood sugar levels to maximum highs, so high they can cause tremors and people will start to shake and freak out, kind of like a convulsion or a seizure. This, in turn, in due time, with long-term effects, that is, coordination, decreased appetite, and postponement of fatigue are side effects. One other side effect is it interferes with the type of sleep you get. You might have heard of REM sleep. You might have heard of M sleep. REM happens right before you hit M sleep. You can train your body to sleep only in REM, which is, let's just say, you're up 24 hours. Every hour you sleep for 30 minutes, you wake up. That's enough for your body to go another hour. REM. It's a crazy formula. There's people who know way more about it than me, but just go with it. Because if you don't get this REM sleep right before you fall asleep, you're going to wake up extremely tired still. Your body didn't start rejuvenating itself before it went to sleep. It just went to sleep. This is what coffee does. Okay, now for something on a political type history, government area of interest that you might find interesting, because I did. As you might have learned, Paul Revere went by himself to make a midnight ride to warn American colonists that British armies and the Britons were coming to try to destroy us. Paul Revere did not single-handedly make this trip, a midnight trip that happened within 6 hours from Europe to here. Kind of hard to do, especially when the White House is, okay, it's kind of close, over there, but no way they do it in that amount of time. Paul Revere was one of the 3 riders on the famous midnight ride of April 8, 1775, from Boston to Concord, Massachusetts. The other two were William Dawes and Samuel Prescott. In the poem Paul Revere's Ride, I believe, by Henry Longfellow, only Revere rides to Concord after seeing one lantern lit in the steeple of the Old North Church. It was church, or whatever they call it then. It was church, most likely, but in reality, the signal was not sent by Revere. He had directed that the signal be sent to friends in Charleston, now known as Charlestown. The midnight ride began at 1 a.m. and along the way with Revere, Dawes, and Prescott, along the way to America, they got into some trouble. They ran into a British cavalry patrol. Dawes and Prescott escaped, but Revere was captured, detained, and he was forced to talk. He was forced back to Lexington as well, accompanied by another British horseman. He didn't take his own horse. There was no way for him to get away unless he ran on foot. And that wasn't going to happen. So they captured him, took him back. Dawes finally returned to Lexington, but only Prescott made it to Concord. He was the only one to actually get the message across to the colonists. So yeah, it's cool. Prescott actually would have given these other two people credit for helping him. Yeah, it's great. They were captured, and one went to go get the person who was captured, and one went to go deliver the message. This was a 33% chance that Americans didn't get one. It's amazing. So it's a lot more amazing when you think of it that way than Henry Longfellow's story says, Here's the last one. Maine is not the eastmost state, or the easternmost state in the United States. It actually sits on the 180th degree parallel. Alaska is not only the westernmost state, but also the easternmost state. Some of Alaska's Aleutian Islands, the Rat Islands and the Near Islands, to be specific, lie west of the 180th meridian. The dividing line between the eastern hemisphere and the western hemisphere, placing them securely in the eastern hemisphere. This whole point is, when you hear about tax fraud and you hear about mischief in trading companies and not paying taxes or whatever, or selling companies for way more than they're worth, certain states on the eastern side of the world have different agendas, laws, etc. Same for the west, vice versa. Thus, they really can say whatever they want to make the most money at that time, whatever the bill pertains and whatever the statutes on the bill that are required be even, it lacks the ability for them to lose money at all, because there's ways around, there's holes, there's always something to push to make an